As members of the Global Farmer Network,
we believe agriculture is part of the solution,
not part of the problem.
We are committed to developing agricultural leaders
and sharing their stories across the globe.
We have one purpose:
to amplify the farmer's voice.
My voice.
Mi voz.
La mia voce.
My voice.
Welcome to Global Farmer Voices, a podcast by the Global Farmer Network, where we invite farmers from around the world to share their stories and perspectives. Hello, I'm Delaney Howell, host for this podcast series. And in this month's episode, we're featuring Shuichi Tokumoto, a farmer from Japan. Shuichi is a farmer who has lived many lives, previously working as a firefighter, musician, and more. When he began having children, he discovered a new passion for wanting to grow food in a sustainable way while continuing to pursue his love of music. Today, he's a successful farmer, has a large following on YouTube where he educates fellow Japanese producers on sustainable farming techniques, and even has a new music video preparing to be released soon. We have an amazing farmer's story ahead of us, so let's dive in by learning more about Shuichi and his background. But first, I had the opportunity to be immersed in the Japanese language. To share the beauty of this language with all of you, we provided a clip of Shuichi speaking in Japanese before diving into his translated answers.
子供に食べさせる食べ物っていうもの、その子供たちが食べる食べ物っていうものに非常に興味を持つようになって、そこから農業っていうもの。
I have started off as being a firefighter, and I was a singer for some time, and I also did some management of some of the entertainers in Japan. Then later on, I started an IT information technology company, and I was one of the executives in that company too. And all that time I was living in Tokyo. Then since I had my first child, I started to have interest in farming and agriculture. So I came back to Tottori to start my farming business. So I had interest in what my children will be eating, the food, and that led me to have more interest in agriculture. And also when I thought about my children's future, I thought agriculture or farming as an industry will be much more important than it is now.
As Shuichi shared, he has poured his passion into many diverse career paths. However, he struggles to choose a favorite because he has found value and lessons through each path in life.
It's difficult to choose one because I learned a lot from each of my past occupation. As being a firefighter, I learned really about the importance of making decisions in terms of life and death, and it was about saving lives. And being in an entertainment business, I learned how to make people happy, basically, and then getting people's attention and what makes them, how to attract their attentions. And also, as part of the IT company, I learned about the management and also dealing with numbers. And all of that is really being helpful to the way I run my business in farming.
Each career has helped Shuichi understand how to be a successful multi-crop farmer. As he's traveled to new nations, including the Philippines, Germany, France, Belgium, Italy, Argentina, and Brazil, he has been able to apply the knowledge he gains from his international agricultural trips to improve his farm and enhance his understanding of how other farmers conduct their practices. The power of knowledge transfer and shared experiences has been so impactful for Shuichi and is at the core of the Global Farmer Network. Shuichi has been able to pull that knowledge and improved practices back to his farm.
My produce crops is rice and soybeans and red beans. And my field size 110 hectares. なので、この日本の農業の大きな変化に対して、私は日本の中で最も強いリーダーシップを発揮していきたいと思います。
In terms of Japanese crop farming, I think we are in a period of change as many of the farmers are getting really old and aged, which means that they stop farming and the land will not be used. So I think there is a chance and need for actually accumulating the land to have a bigger farms, which I think I consider to be an opportunity. So I think I'd like to take some leadership in terms of going through this changing period.
To some, farming may be viewed as a job, but to Shuichi and many others, sustainable farming is his lifestyle. Since beginning down this path, he has dedicated himself to learning about all aspects of modern farming, such as GMO seeds, no-till practices, and so much more. However, he knows that not everyone has that same willingness to seek out reliable information, which is why he began his YouTube channel in order to provide more accurate information and connect with those who may have questions about how their food is raised.
実際にですね、僕はその農業のフィールドに立つようになって、現場に立つようになってから少しずつですね、こう社会のイメージする農業であったり、あとはその政治家が考えている農業のイメージだったり、そういうもののですね、ギャップを。
Since I started actually doing farming, I realized there's a gap between what we do in the farm and what people in society or politicians imagine us to be doing. So I thought it was really important for the farmers to be sustainable, to let people know what we do as professional farmers and to be influential in society.
As Shuichi has continued to tell his story, so has his community. That community that he has grown through YouTube and other channels has allowed Shuichi to have more conversations with fellow farmers, consumers, and even politicians from many different countries.
One of the things that happened since I started doing my YouTube 4 years ago, I think I could say that many of my farmers' colleagues have realized how important it is for the farmers to voice what they do and what they think. So for my YouTube, I think there are 48,000 followers, and they're mostly Japanese farmers. So regarding consumers and other members of society, I think in Japan, we start talking about the elements or the issues surrounding biotechnology, and you do get lots of criticism, and I do get that too. But there are actually more responses that actually tell me that they have managed to learn about those new technologies rather than criticizing what I do. So I think there is a change in responses. And also that has led to actually holding some of the on-site conferences last year. So I think it's very important that I continue to do this.
Shuichi is an active Global Farmer Network member who goes out of his way to attend conferences, engage with fellow farmers, and learn more about sustainability. Shuichi was so inspired following a Global Farmer Network roundtable training in February of 2023. He traveled home to Japan and quickly organized the Japanese Biotech Crop Network. This platform is aimed at connecting directly with professional farmers in Japan and abroad. The network also focuses on engaging Japanese farmers in practical discussions on the ideal form of land use agriculture based on the latest technologies such as biotechnology, no-till, and others.
Being part of that GFN conference in Argentina, I actually got to see the real sites of growing GMO soybeans, and I learned about that, and I thought we need to deepen that knowledge. And also seeing other farmers and meeting farmers from around the world, I realized how important it is for the farmers to take actions and speak out. So that's how I got to start the organization. So last December, we had the first JBCN conference in Tokyo, in which we invited Charlene from Canada, who's also a GFN member, and that has huge impact on the whole farming industry in Japan, I think. But so we'd like to continue holding that kind of on-site conference annually. At the same time, we also do lots of online conferences on a regular basis too, and maybe organize some of the farming tours in the future for the Japanese farmers to visit farms overseas. But we also like to be more influential in terms of policy making and advocate on the farming policies in Japan so that we'll be able to actually socially ground new biotechnology practices in Japan.
As we mentioned earlier in the episode, Shuichi is not only a farmer, but also a singer. After transitioning into his career as a farmer, Shuichi has continued to mold his passion and music to combine it with his knowledge of agriculture. He has produced multiple songs about farming and agriculture, and we are so excited to share that coming soon is a song and music video that he has made in conjunction with other Global Farmer Network members during some of his time spent traveling abroad.
So actually, the last month when I visited Brazil, the main purpose was to actually shoot a film for my new song, which is written all in English, and the title is called No Till. And I hope this song will really have a huge impact on the global farming scene. We hope to finish the editing and all the mixing of the song by around June or July this year. So I'd like to let people hear about the song from then. And I hope that everyone will listen to the songs through GFN websites and other channels.
As a farmer, influencer, and singer, Shuichi has seen firsthand the value of telling your story. As a 2023 DLG Agritechnica influencer, Shuichi has words of advice for anyone willing to learn and become involved in the agriculture industry and the importance of telling your story.
No other profession is more creative than farming. We have to utilize all the knowledge that we have, all the learning we have gained in order to be part of this business. And as we are dealing with a natural climate, there's no clear answer. There's never a fixed answer to what we do and what is the best. And that's the difficulty, but also that's a very interesting part of this business. And as we look at the world today, there are expanding population and there's limited resources. We have to maintain the environment, but grow the productivity. And that's a huge challenge for the farming, the global farming as a whole. And I think, but I'm really proud to be a farmer today. And then if any of the people listening to this are interested in the farming, well, let's enjoy doing the farming. And I hope you enjoy my song too.
Shuichi has lived a life that some only dream of, and we are incredibly grateful for him to take the time to share part of his story with us today. We want to thank him for discussing his knowledge with the listeners of the Global Farmer Voices podcast and dedicating his work towards a more sustainable future. If you're interested in learning more about the Global Farmer Network's mission and its members, seeing some of the things the organization is doing, and finding out how you can get involved, please visit globalfarmernetwork.org. And if you'd like to support the Global Farmer Network through a donation, you can do so at globalfarmernetwork.org/donate. If you enjoyed the podcast episode today, be sure to subscribe and follow Global Farmer Network on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Until next time, I'm Delaney Howell, and this has been the Global Farmer Voices podcast.